Everybody listen to We're Not Wizards, because we are the best, and we're not wizards, no matter what anybody says. Goodbye.
Galileo board game review. Sorry, we are French. Straight out of the box, Galileo makes no apologies for its attempt to be bold and brash when it hits your table. The main board will take up a decent amount of space lengthways, filling up spaces with cards and wooden tokens. Player boards shout at you with their Galilean moons of Jupiter, multicoloured discs and tokens set out on the table ready to be moved and placed, and in the middle of it all, a rectangular box contains a treasure of poker chips. These mega credits have a reassuring tactile weight in your hand, and you'll be forgiven if you spend more time flexing them between your fingers than you have them simply sitting in their placid on your spot on the table. Galileo is all about the points, building up an engine that slowly increases the power at your hands to create and develop the 4 moons of Jupiter using a mixture of human specialists and machines. As the development of the moon grows, so does your abilities when you take a turn, leading up to a points festival and race to victory. It looks like a feast on the table, a moist collection of delicious artwork and colours. The world of Galileo was viewed through a prism, with strong colours of the rainbow setting up home wherever you look, with the gold, silver, bronze and bright orange providing a contrast from the rest of the table palette. It scoffs at other games that shout about table presence and tells them to politely have a seat before issuing an embarrassing beatdown. The actions at your disposal are surprisingly few, with you only having the choice of hiring a robot for the moon or a specialist to give you a bonus. You can also research a technology or complete a goal. These are all with a view of adding on to your endgame points possibilities. You purchase using a balance of increasing and decreasing influence on an Earth and Mars track that you can switch between by paying mega credits. You can only buy robots based if you're on the right correct track, while the choice of track affects the bonuses you gain when you select a specialist. Your main focus at all times is to increase the amount of development happening across the 4 Jupiter moons as you allow to increase the benefits you obtain or lower costs, all with a view of making it easier for you to purchase in the future. I've not even mentioned collecting specialists for in-game scoring or levelling up robots or robot projects. I've neglected to mention that the more robots that you have, the more bonuses you get when you play. There are very few actions wasted as you're playing. You never seem like you're playing a filler move just for the sake of it, with you walking away from every turn feeling that you're adding a small amount to that end-of-game token. I've played too many games while waiting for the payoff becomes frustrating just because there's simply nothing you can do in that turn to progress. Galileo is a lot to take in at the beginning for such a simply limited number of choice of actions. The rulebook does its best to explain how everything comes together with the occasional falter. It talks about increasing development levels when you add a robot to a moon, but it seems to neglect making it entirely clear that you move up the development track when you level up a robot. Considering this is such an important part of the gameplay, to not make it clear is slightly frustrating. The game could do with a simple turn reminder on the back of the book, or as one of the cards in the game. You'll be likely to spend most of the first game refreshing yourself on some of the rules and how they interact. Many of the confusions will come from the lack of experience rather than lack of explanation. And at that point, the various iconography on the different parts of the boards will make sense and click, and by that point you'll be on your way. There's a decent amount of player interaction due to the card choice track, which means that this isn't a typical solo mode multiplayer affair. It makes sense to keep an eye on the other player boards, and sometimes to even try to take their choice of robot out before they do. There doesn't seem to be a simple winning tactic that will guarantee you domination. If anything, sometimes you'll need reminded about the goals you can achieve, or to be making sure you're collecting specialists to store underneath your player board. Galileo will suit those players who like to plan ahead, scheme and revel in a choice scoring of high payoff at the end. It will easily take a few hours to set up, play through and score, but the table presence is simply stunning with components that easily add to the overall experience. This is a game that requires a bit of concentration and commitment to learn and play. For those who like their engine creating point-collecting player interactions, then Galileo has been what you're looking for. For those who played the previous game in the series, you're probably going to ganny need this one. This review based on the final retail version of the game provided to us by games distributor Hashi Games. We were not paid for this review. We give a general overview of the gameplay, and so not all of the mechanical aspects of the game may be mentioned. If you'd like to read the original review, you can do so by visiting we'renotwizards.co.uk. Thank you for listening. Until the next time, goodbye.
A wizard is never late. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.